How do we handle moral failure? How do we prevent moral failure? How do we strengthen the marriages of our staff, of our churches? How do we prepare parents? Talking about the gay community and how do we as a church relate to them, love them, while still holding to what the Bible says and what we know to be true. We are incredibly excited to release a new tool this fall called the Sex Church Culture Masterclass for churches, for pastors, and for leaders, where we're able to tackle and dissect the various areas of sexuality as we're developing a healthy sexual culture in our churches.
Yeah, because historically the church has been known to kind of be silent on this topic, to not know what does our environment believe about this, or how do we say this in a loving way but still hold the biblical truth. And so that's why we created this 10-week resource, is to have your church's pastors and leaders be able to join together as a team and say, this is the culture we want to create when it comes to the topic of sexuality.
Yeah, and so it's going to be 10 weeks of live Zoom calls starting on September 10th. These will be every week of 45 minutes of teaching, and at the conclusion of the teaching, everybody that was a part of the Zoom call breaks up into discussion groups to talk about how it applies to their environment, talk real live scenarios based on the topic. And the topics are things like, how do we handle moral failure? How do we prevent moral failure? How do we strengthen the marriages of our staff, of our churches? How do we prepare parents? What do we need to be thinking about as we're hiring for youth and young adult and children's ministries? We spend 2 full weeks on LGBT, talking about the gay community and how do we as a church relate to them, love them, while still holding to what the Bible says and what we know to be true. Our speakers and our teachers are Danny and Sherry Silk, Chris Volladin, Jason Volladin, Candace and Eric Johnson, Dan Fairley, Tom Crandall, Ken Williams, and Elizabeth Wanning, as well as myself, and so many unbelievable teachers of live teaching, incredible opportunity. It's incredibly exclusive. We're only opening this up to 50 churches total, and the registration closes August 30th. In addition to the teaching, we also have a lot of resources, e-courses that are going to be complimentary as a part of it. You really aren't going to want to miss it. Check out the link in the profile.
Yeah, you're not alone in this, and we want you to come and join the conversation.
If you watch this not on Instagram, you're already at the page, so you don't need to go to the profile link.